if you are wondering if you should be buffing your nails or not, this video is for you. So I'm going to explain. First of all, I'm going to tell you right away, buffing is not a good idea. And then you see me do this and you're very confused. So the reason why we remove the shine from the natural nail is because we are trying to increase the bond of the product to the natural nails. And when you have a very, very shiny surface, the product is not going to stick very well. And our clients expect long-lasting manicures. And for majority of the enhancements, you really need to have the shine removed from the natural nail. But we do it in order to achieve a better bond. But we never do it because it's good for the natural nail. In fact, it's really damaging to the natural nail because when you are buffing your natural nail, you are removing the layers of the natural nail. And I want to show you something. So this is a thick book, but imagine that this is your natural nail and it's growing from here. So this is the fold of the skin. This is the proximal nail fold, and this is the end of your nail. So actually, if this is a nail, then we're going to do it this way. Okay. So natural nail is made up of many keratin layers. So it's about 50 to 100 keratin layers depending on a person. So now, not all the keratin layers are the same. In fact, the top layer of the natural nail is made up of much denser layers of the keratin, and the lower layers are much softer and they are more spongy. So the products, all the products, nail polish, gel polish, even acrylic gels, stick the best to the top layer of the natural nail that has the shine removed. The products actually don't stick very well to the very spongy layers underneath. So the top layer of the natural nail is the protective layer. So we don't want to remove it. We just want to remove the shine so the product sticks better, but we don't want to remove the top layers. So this is why having a very healthy natural nail is going to make your nail polish last longer. So the best thing you can do for long-lasting nail polish is not to use anything that bonds stronger, but you need your nails to be healthy because the polish is going to stick much better to a healthy natural nail. So now the problem is that when you are doing a manicure and you're putting too much pressure on the buffer, or you are using a buffer that's very harsh, and I see it quite often, unfortunately, that people are using those buffers with a lot of pressure and they're really, really smoothing that nail for some reason. It's normal to have a little bit of texture to the natural nail, so smoothing that nail is just not a good idea because you're removing way too many layers. So the problem is that once you remove this layer with your first manicure, then with your second manicure, you remove these few layers, and then the next one you remove even more nail. You are actually ending up with a very flimsy natural nail, very flexible natural nail, very spongy natural nail that nothing sticks very well, and the nail is breaking very easily. So, and another issue is that if we are putting any enhancement products on the nail, on these flaky last layers, the spongy flaky layers of the natural nail, certain things, certain chemicals, like for example, HEMA and things like that we're talking about, they can actually penetrate because there's not a lot of space between the top layers and the skin underneath. So sometimes those chemicals, because they have very small molecules, they can actually penetrate, they can go through those layers of the natural nail and they can soak through them, and then they can hit the skin, and this is when you end up with allergic reactions to enhancement products like gels or gel polishes, or even hardeners that contain, for example, formalin. Formalin is okay when it's applied on a healthy natural nail. So hardeners should never be used on damaged nails. You don't want to be putting a hardener on the last flaky little pieces of nail. It's just not very safe. So unfortunately, the nail grows very, very slow. So the nail is not going to replace itself from the bottom. So it's not like we are exfoliating. I don't believe that's a correct word when it comes to a nail. We're not exfoliating the nail. We're just removing layers of the nail. So if we are removing the top layers, more nail is not going to appear from underneath. More nail is going to start growing from here. And this is a very slow process. It takes about a week for a nail to grow only 1 millimeter, and that's really not that much. So it takes about 4 months for the nail to grow out completely. So very often people go and they start taking care of their nails properly, and 1 month goes by and they still don't see any results. Is because they have removed so much nail here that the whole surface has to grow out before they actually see the benefits. So I find it quite concerning when I see big nail care companies advising buffing of the natural nails. When people buff their natural nails, even I hear dermatologists advise that, which is to me very shocking, because they should know how the nails work and how easily they get damaged. So unfortunately, once the nail is overfiled and when it's lacking that top layer, that protective layer, people have to reach for strengtheners in order to replace that missing layer. But the key is not to be removing that protective layer and then having to replace it, because that replacement layer is never going to be as perfect as your natural nail protective layer. So the bottom line is that yes, we buff the natural nail in order to increase the bond of the product to the natural nail. So this is the price that we have to pay, but it's never done for the health of the natural nail. So just be very, very careful and treat the buffers with a lot of respect. Use very light pressure and use buffers that are about 220 grits. You don't want to be creating shiny surface, because anything that is very high grit is actually going to create extra shine. We don't want the nail to be shiny. So use about 220 grit and don't keep buffing the same area over and over again, because you're just going to create a lot of damage, and then it's going to take a lot of time for this damage to grow out. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Bye.